We're live.
It's where it does that thing, man. Every week we wait and we wait and we wait and we wait and we wait. And it looks like I'm looking at you. We're live. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Thursday Throwdown. As always, I am your host, X to the D to the A to the L to the Y. I can't say the reigning, defending, the whole thing. Like it used to be such a good, it was so good. And then I lost the belt, and we're not the longest running episodic show. Don't worry, the elitists will fuck it up sooner rather than later. But nonetheless, we have a big show tonight. But before we get into it, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about, I am going to introduce you to my colleague, your host of 239 tonight, who is back up and running. So happy to see that. If you guys haven't seen their shop or their gear in the shop, I actually just picked one up. I'm waiting for it. I can't wait to get it. But Mr. Cortez, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm happy to be here, and I'm going to move my mouse away from that stop broadcast button right now because it accidentally was hovered over it. I'm trying to post the link in the website, and for some reason, it's got to be like my college internet saying like, what you're trying to post is not secure, so it won't let me. It actually won't let me post any message for some reason. So
interesting. Well, welcome to college. Sorry, I left my phone over here. Like when I do these throwdowns, man, I have so much going on. I have my computer, I have my phone. I'm trying to keep up with everything. Twitter is live as well at OldDad21. I know everybody gets after that. But right now, me and Cortez are going to – that's his name, but you guys know him as Cortez.
Yeah, as you say, you're fine.
Yeah, I'm a first name guy. I think we've gone over that. It's the thing. So as you can see, it's the two of us right now. Ryan Randall, a.k.a. Ability, your reigning defending champ, will be joining us at some point. Agent said he was going to be here. Obviously,
big surprise.
That's probably not going to be a thing. It's not going to be a thing. So let's jump into it, man. Right off the jump, we've got rule ones. And, like, here's the thing. Like, I hate rule ones. I'm a league guy. Everybody knows I'm a league guy. But when it has to happen, it has to happen. So let's talk about the first guy, Karios. Now, Karios, really, he's not here anymore, so I really don't care what his name is. But I literally to Yambag said this when Yam was on McSwagger's team and Pogs traded Karios to Yam. I said, that dude will be rule one in a week. No joke. Said it in an admin chat. I'm pretty sure I screenshot it. And Yam's like, well, what do you know? I'm like, I just know that he's not going to be here. And sure enough, Yam had to drop the ban hammer today. Cortez, do you like the rule one post, man? Is that like is that thing?
Man, I get a lot of love for it because like I love seeing what Yam gets creative with in them. But it's actually hilarious to me every time they happen. Even when my buddy Wiz got rule one, I actually laugh still at the post. He's like, what is a like Wiz Khalifa or whatever? It was hilarious. I give Yam total props on writing them up.
And that's the thing. Like Yambag has been doing this for the better part of a decade. And now with new age technology, you've got like the GIF with him with the bat. I don't watch Walking Dead, so I don't know the name of. I don't know the name of that guy. It's something stupid. But seeing Yambag's face with the Flyers hat, like that is literally Yambag in a nutshell. The one rule one I want to talk about is Hockey Kid. So let's talk about Hockey Kid. First of all, Hockey Kid was brought into this league by none other than Noah Regretzky, captain of the Swift Pups. Hockey Kid is a real life brother of his friend. Now, here's what happened. Hockey Kid was kind of a world traveler this year. He couldn't really find a home. Ends up on Netflix and chill, and there is this instant electric chemistry. I mean, Pale is literally rub and tugging this guy in the admin chat. Like, he is the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, I don't know why everybody passed on this guy. I don't know. He's great, blah, 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 whatever. They rattle off 6 in a row, right? Like, this team is on the up and up. They're solidifying the 6th playoff spot.
Yep.
Well, last night happens, and they had a date with Raising Cane. And while they're sitting there at, 10:01, Hockey Kid goes, hey, Pale, Rob, buddy, I got to go take a whiz. Pale's like, cool, man, whatever. Go take a piss. Do the bit, right? 10:05, 10:10. Yambag touched on it. What does somebody do for 10 minutes in the bathroom? It's no longer a pee. It's obviously a number 2. And 10:15 finally rolls around.
I like that. I like that. Just like that.
And Hockey Kid comes back on the mic and says, "Hey, man, listen, by the way, I can't not only play tonight because my dad's yelling at me, but I can't play like forever. So like I got to work on my grades.
Wow.
It's the whole thing." And Pale was just at that. And you know, Pale's one of the most chill dudes you've ever met in your life. At that moment was just internally destroyed. Absolutely
Bring out
destroyed.
Mr. Krabs' world's smallest violin right there.
Oh man. And you know, here's the thing about it. So Hockey Kid, obviously a big part of that offense. He was making so many trades. You know, Pale's very active in the community and the trade. And, you know, he had a rough season the year before. Ever since the season 3 run, man, where he won the title, he's had some really rough goes as captain. And I thought this is it, man. I thought this is the turning point, and now they're really up against it. But his team seems to be in good spirit. Shout out to Hockey Kid, man. I hope your dad doesn't whoop your ass or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, get those grades up, man. I don't know if this is a Rule 1 just of like where we wouldn't allow him to come back. I mean,
yeah.
It seems pretty personal.
Agree.
Are you in the boat like something like this? Circumstances.
Like the Karios one, that's like a legit, or Karios, whatever you say his name. Like that's a legit Rule 1. Like I'm for that. Like you just don't want to play anymore. You don't want to show up. You don't respond. Nothing. You're just done. Like sure, but something like that where it's kind of out of his control in a sense of like what his dad like punishes with and everything. Maybe the whole bathroom thing wasn't like a legit thing when he said it to Pale, but it probably was more of like, oh shit, my dad's yelling at me. I'm going to say I'm going to the bathroom and I'll be back in a minute. So like what's actually funny is this conversation made its way into our team G chat for non-consensuals. And the older guys were obviously joking, saying like, oh, this is why we shouldn't allow kids. Actually, it was Legion that said it first. And I was like, to be fair though, I was like, you got some people in the league that are younger. Like I'll use Cosmic as the example. He's younger. He's still in high school, but the guy cares so much for the league. He's one of the top guys in it. He's a part of his own show here. Like there's people that care regardless of the age. Like I'm 20. I'm about to turn 21, but I've been a part of the league for almost a year now. I still put a lot into it. So it's like, it just all depends on the person. I don't think the age is really the problem. It's just who the person is, you know?
Well, guys have different maturity levels too.
Yes.
Like here's the thing, like Legion's an old fat elitist. So like I get it. Like I get where his mind's at. Like he's just miserable. Like he hates everything. So I get it. But yeah, I'm a big component too. Like I got into these leagues when I was young too. So you can make an absolute difference. I mean, you guys are both under the age of, 21, and you guys run the 239 a night show. So again, age is but a number. I mean, OP Jelly's out there kicking it, man, winning cups, showing up for big games. Shout out to the Lime, man. The Lime's kicking in high school too. So yeah, I think young guys bring a lot to the table too. But yeah, it's always tough to see, oh, hey, I can't play because my grades aren't good. So that's almost as bad as Shock telling me that I had to build a wall in front of him so he could eat his fish sticks. I mean, it falls into that category. You know what I'm saying? Or he'll tell you it's chicken fingers. I swear to God it was fish sticks, man. Like, I swear it was fish sticks. But what do I know? So with that said, let's talk about Pale's team now, because as I had stated, the Hockey Kid trade was such a big component for what they were trying to do and that offense. Where do you think this team goes from here? Because right now they're pretty much in a dogfight at 27 points in that 8th spot. They do have 5 points in 3 games on Raising Cane, but the Diddling Danglers, they're 6 points out and they got 6 games in hand. That's a 3-3 mark to catch them. What does this do to the Netflix and Shell team, man? Do you really still, because I know you and I were really high on them, do you think they still have a legitimate chance to make the postseason?
Well, I have a question from it that you might be able to answer for me. Okay. So when I looked at it, it said he had 29 points. That's what Hockey Kid had. Now, did he have 29 points overall, or did he have 29 points since being traded to Netflix and Chill?
I think that is – so with Netflix – I got you. With Netflix and Chill, 6 games, 12 points, 8 goals, 4 assists. Still 2 points a clip. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, because right now there's only 3 players in the league who are averaging over like 2.5 a clip, and that's D-Mart. It's D-Mart, Surprise Me, and No Regretskis. Those are the only 3 right now averaging.
Yeah, so you're talking about 3 of the top forwards in this league already being matched up with this guy. So I think you said it perfectly. Like Pale was milking the guy, And like even Dub pointed that out to us and everything as well. So I think this is going to take a huge hit on the team because Pale had that team already. Where in the beginning of the season, I think it was himself, Wizzy War, and Cokester at forward, and it just wasn't rolling right. And so now he gets this guy, things are rolling well. But now that his team's on a little bit hot streak, they take away a piece of the puzzle, and the team, I don't know. Like you said, diddling danglers are out there. Hashtag Chem's still out there. And then you still have other teams kind of still finding themselves. Like Raising Cane is still kind of finding themselves. And if they find themselves in a promising spot here pretty soon, they could overtake that spot from them. Same thing with hashtag Chem, like I was just saying. And the diddling danglers are so many games behind. So unless this team finds like just some little spark in them, I don't think the playoffs stay a reality for them.
So I'm intrigued at this point because here's something I do know. So he has Sniper on his roster. Sniper's a legitimate left winger in my eyes. He was on my list as a potential left wing to grab. I like the way he plays the game. Now, if you were to put Sniper up front with Pale and Wizzy, I really like that forward lineup. Now, Sniper's also a good defenseman, so you have some flexibility. My question is where does Cokester play? Can Cokester play D? The guy's only showed up for 3 games. I'm assuming that Pale is going to grab somebody off the wire here. I know Marine Mike just got scooped up. I wish Pale was here because I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen a move on Pale Poner. So he's going to have to make a roster move, I think, because Cokester has been MIA as far as I know. He's only played 3 games, Bailey, through 24.
Oh, I noticed that actually just now. Well, because I knew in the beginning of the season when they were playing, like we played a lot of like practice games in the beginning of the season, he had Cokester in. So I'm assuming, I assumed without looking at the games played, that he was just a part of the starting roster there, and like he just eventually changed it out. Didn't he have Middo? Did he trade Middo?
So he traded Middle Garen in the Hockey Kid deal. So Hockey Kid
okay.
and Middle Garen went to hashtag Chem just for, I think there were 2 guys who were in struggling situations looking to get a change of pace, which I'm all for, you know. I think Hockey Kid is a little bit more skilled. Middle's more of a finisher on the wing, and then Middle gives you a little bit of net. So I understood the trade. They had just moved Shock. Hashtag Chem, that's a whole nother situation as they got swept yet again. But yeah, when I'm looking at this roster, it's really going to be dependent on who they get as waivers. I know Hockey Mike's out there. I'm trying to think who else. Caminator, I believe, is out there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens for Pale. But
while you're thinking of that, I think you're right though. I think Sniper could really play left wing because I've seen him play left D, and I think he can play left wing. And with having Lime and net wherever, I don't know where my controller went because my screen went black, but like Lime's a solid goalie. Like you could trust him back there. Derek GNR is a good defenseman as well. I believe that's what he's playing on the team. I mean, 24 games played with 1 goal, 11 assists. I believe he's playing defense. Not me even having to click on it. He's probably playing right D. Yeah, that's exactly what he's playing. So Derek's a solid defender as well. And I mean, Pale could take his team in the route that we kind of took it with non-consensuals there. And Dunner was like our starting guy there at right D. And the very last pick in the draft, we got Ian the Berean, which I think we lucked out on. And that's our starting left defenseman. So, I mean, if he kind of goes into that waiver wire, finds that left defenseman, and moves Sniper up, because he needs offense on that team. Goaltending he has, defense he kind of has a basis there, but they need to put the puck in the net in order to keep winning. So I think moving Sniper up is kind of a smart move on his part. I like the idea that you had.
Yeah, and you know the real question is just going to be: is that guy that he gets going to be a D? And if he isn't a D, can he mix in and mesh in with that forward unit? You know, it remains to be seen. I'm interested to see how that plays out. But yeah, shout out to Pale, man. I wish him the best. I really do. I love Pale Poner, man. You guys know him here. He's a staple on the Throwdown. He's getting his Wawa on tonight, man, making some big ass fucking sandwiches. I've never had Wawa, but it's a thing. So he's just out there getting after it tonight. So that brings us to the next topic, man. Hi, I'm a captain and I do my stats after a win. Look at me. I got to put somebody on blast really quick again, but for a different reason. Well, actually, no. I'm putting Kinky PB on blast tonight, man, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, before I do this, I do want to say this. Kinky is an absolute stud because King Rome has been a motherfucking fuck up. And Romeo, Mr. Dudley, you are my boy. You are my boy of boys. We are brothers. We have been to battle. We have been to war. but you can't put your fucking stats in to save your life. Listen, I know the built-in excuse. I got to jerk off in this corner. I got to go fart in this one. I get it, man. I do. But it takes 10 minutes. So luckily, Kinky has stepped up and she has filled the void and she has done those stats. Now, even on the best days, I'm giving Kinky a little bit of a benefit of the doubt here because she's been moving. She's got a lot of shit going on and she's picking up for Rome. But listen, you can't go making 239 posts saying, "Oh, hey, look, Rome's stats are in already. I'm so happy." Ooh, them motherfuckers are supposed to be in anyways. And to be completely frank, I spent 2 hours doing goddamn stats today. I am done. Every fucking captain who doesn't do their stats can kindly lick the underside of my nutsack because I am fucking done. I am absolutely done. I love everybody in this league. I am a 239 guy through and through. This has been the absolute worst fucking season for captain stats. I literally want to stab myself, slit my wrists, and bleed out in my bathtub, and I hope it's a big fucking mess.
Is it normally the same people? Is it normally the same people that don't do it, or is it just like every captain kind of has their own little thing?
Dude, do you want me to put people on blast right now? I will. I
mean, sure. I mean, you guys have the headache. Might as well.
So first and foremost, Marty McFly hasn't done his playoff stats from like season 1 when he lost in the Cup Finals. Marty McFly, you don't even have those stats anymore. Those stats will be lost in infamy. We have these cool things like, oh, let's pull stats from season 1. Every single person who played on that team in the playoffs doesn't get their playoff stats because there was a lot of emo after that loss. Another one, Shock. Shock, where you at, man? Shock, come here, man. I love you. Shock, give me a hug. Give me a hug, man. I'm going to just give you a big old bear hug. But we know you are a motherfucker when it comes to stats. You are a motherfucker when it comes to stats. But that's okay. That's okay. We get it, man. You did 5 seasons. You paid your dues. I get it. You took the season off. But you were always bad with your stats. This year, the culprits, and I'll lay them out for you right now. Hey, let's do something. Who are the good? Let's do the good. Can I do the good first?
Sure, yeah.
Let's shout out to Dominator Silva, man. His teams always suck balls, but he always gets his stats in on time. Always, man. He has always got his stats in on time. Every single time, no questions asked. Hey, Pogs, where you at, Pogs? Hey, high five. Pogs, high five, man. You always do your stats on time. You get a high five for that. Where's Ability? Oh, no, Ability doesn't get a high five because Ability gives me built-in excuses for days. McSwagger, you're a fucking mess. Sorry, that's just a thing. And let's transition this into the next thing. I'm sorry I ran over Murph, whose stats I spent all day doing. I'll say on the matter, we've located Murph. Murph is alive. He is well. He's taking some personal time right now to do his bit. So Murph, I wish you the best, man. Hope you get everything taken care of. But that kind of led me into my next thing. So Murph is a no-show for the last series. Luckily for him, he drafted himself quite the dynamic team. He picked up Demented Spud off of waivers, which I'm a big Demented Spud guy. I think that Spud with the right D-man is phenomenal. And I said the word phenomenal. The guy is consistently overlooked. I have great chemistry with the guy personally. So he's always a guy on my radar. For whatever reasons, it doesn't work out. But he's a guy that is in a really good situation right now. He's playing defense with BBX, who I've known always as a forward. But I know that BBX played D in other leagues. So this is a really nice dynamic that they have here. And you have this other interesting combo. You have Donnywood, who now can move up to forward. He's a known forward. He prefers D, but he can play forward at a very high level, center or left wing. And you have him at a full-time. Gugatron, who was their 6th-round pick, or I think it was 6th-round pick, having a huge season right now. Mind you, I just put all their stats in, and I had to put in like 9 points in one game for Gugatron. These guys are doing the bit. And then on top of that, you have Schwartz and Saney on part-time swaps. So you're getting Schwartz and Saney with those other 4, and then obviously B. Cripps and Net, the bus himself, or should I say the guy who throws others under the bus. Either way, he is the netminder, and he is having yet again a Vezina caliber season. So I say to myself, God, is Murph not being there going to be an issue? Well, I talked to this team today, obviously, as an admin, trying to figure out, hey, man, are you guys good? Like, where are your heads at? Like, is everybody okay? And, dude, these guys they haven't skipped a beat. They said, listen, man, like, I talked to Saney today. I talked to Schwartz today. I talked to Donnie today. Like, these guys are vocal with me and said, listen, man, like, we got it. We're good. Murph take care of his stuff. We're good here. Like, we're going to be fine. We're going to work it out, man. I asked you guys need a waiver. No, we're good. So shout out to everybody on Drop Pass Murphys, all of you guys up and down that roster, making my life a hell of a lot easier. Schwartz, don't take so many fucking pictures next time. Oh my God. Just like trying to decipher Morse fucking code. But other than that, man, those guys really, really got after it. And I really don't think they're going to skip a beat. I really don't. When you look at that roster and everything I just said, Cortez, like, this team still has everything that it takes, even without Murph, to be a number 1 seed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Cosmic and I talked about it on 239 tonight. We both actually look at them as right now the number 1 team in the league. Like, even though your team just literally shit stomped my team, that's a whole nother conversation.
We can talk about that later if you want.
Sure, yeah, whatever works, man.
Okay, all right.
But the Job Pass Murphys have been going at a consistent rate. They didn't have they weren't really at a slump point at any point in time. Like, they've just been consistently good right now. And having B Crips and net is such a huge win for the team that if they're having an off night at all, Crips keeps the puck out of the net. I mean, what is it? Crips has 21 games played, 1.56 goals against average, a .875 save percentage. Because of how bad of a series I just had against you guys, he is now in the number 1 spot, and I think I'm tied for like basically number 2 with Watch, or as now Holt B or whatever he changed his gamer tag to with 2 numbers in his name. He's a consistent goalie. Like, he is always there for his team, and I mean, it's going to be. I'm really interested in seeing you guys play them, because both Cosmic and I feel they're the number 1 team. And then I was thinking, like, between your team and the team I'm on is number 2 and 3, and then Swift Pups from there. So I'm very intrigued to see how this team will do moving forward.
So here's the thing, and I'm actually gonna while you're talking the next bit, I'm gonna update it. Kiefer just told me he put the stats in, so I can update it because I put in the Murphy stats for that series, but I was waiting on Keith. So we'll get that updated. So what it's gonna show is 24 games. They have 41 points. So they have 2 points in hand and 3 games on drop or on We Give 60. But guess what? Those 3 games in hand are against We Give 60. So it's gonna be a very interesting dynamic with that as well. I think this is one of those teams, when you look at it, you say, oh, look at the offensive firepower. They are currently, with the exception of Chili Cone Carnage, which we're going to talk about in the next segment, they are the second best offensive team. Once I put the stats clear, they're going to be number 1, okay? So they're the number 1 offense, but on top of being the number 1 offense, they are also currently the number 1 statistical defensive team in the league. Wow. Yes, there's games in hand. But when you look at last season, you look at the Hut Heroes team. Hut Heroes were great defensively, but they were like 4th or 5th offensively, right? You look at Victoria's Secret, they were number 1 offensively, but they were like 7 or 8 defensively, right? This is a dynamic where you're looking at a team who's not only the best offense in the league statistically,
best defense too,
but they are also the best defensive team statistically. So there's a little bit of inflation. My sources are telling me that they dropped the 12 spot against a waiver goalie. So I don't know how, but either way, they are a top offense. They are a top defense, so you have the reigning Vezina winner in net. You've got 2 very good D, and the forwards play D. This is a team that I think everybody's been high on all year. I think they are the number 1 team. I think there's no doubt about that. They are the number 1 team. But I look in that top 4 and I see a lot of Swift Pups, man. They've slowly been getting it done. The boner for Rondon Vellante is through the roof.
Oh, and it's through the no, it's more than through the roof. You're looking at a high-rise building that somehow has like an extra roof on top of it, and it's through both those roofs.
Yeah, and all you see at the top is esoteric and no Regretskis with their mouths open, just waiting for all the babies just to hit them in the face. That's what it is. But the hype is real. I've seen it. He's a great player. I don't know what happened. First of all, he was undrafted, and I think it was because he signed up late. I really, really do. Like guys like, I mean, myself, I don't take. I like to draft guys that I know, commodities, different things like that. I don't want the emo, so I won't take chances.
Wasn't he also a part of that whole like cousins train? Like somebody found a league, and then they had their cousins sign up with them, so everyone was kind of like nobody really knew who they were. Yeah. So,
dude, like, is this real? Like, are you Rondon Vellante? Are you a real person? Are you a thing, or are you a bot? Are you Russian? What are you? Yeah, are you taking over? No, but like again, shout out to Ron. I was in a party with him the other day, probably a week ago. But he's the real deal. He plays both sides, which again I think is so hard to do, to be able to play left D and play right D. It really, really is. Chelsea and I had a conversation about the other day, like making that swap. It's just your muscle memory becomes completely different. It's such a weird dynamic to do that. It's tough and be the same sort of player. It's really difficult. So, but shout out to him. I think the Swift Pucks are going to make some noise. Esoteric's having a really good year. When Nisimov is quiet under the table, man, doing his thing. So I really, really like what I'm seeing from the Swift Pups. And then 9K Essentials, man, let's talk about you guys for a minute while we're on the topic. You know, it was a rough series, man. Some weird bounces. You know, we scored 8. I don't think the defense and goaltending was what worried me. I think it was the offense. It really never seemed to be able to get in sync. You had some really good surges, especially at the end of game 1. That was what was really sticking out to me. You guys are putting shots on net. The rebounds were there. I think Nick Berry went off on my side. You know, you guys did that, and you got away from it. I remember telling my guys, I'm like, listen, man, like we got to be ready. We got to pressure the puck, because if they're going to be throwing shots like this, we got to be ready to clean in front. We got to be ready to be on the puck. And you guys completely got away from it. I think it was playing behind each game personally is what I think did that.
Oh, agreed, 100%. 100%.
But what were you seeing, man, from the back end? Forget the EA goals. We know those happen. But what were you seeing from your team, from your offense? What would you like to see going forward?
Well, so when we've played, the perfect example I was using in the party with these guys, the most offensive team we played so far other than you guys was the Knights of the Frozen Throne. And when we played them, I think game 1, when we played them, they were our very first series. I think we won game 1 by just like 1 goal somehow. Like we came back and won that game. Game 2, we lost, and game 3, we won. But we adjusted their defense the whole time. Now, I think I completely agree with you. I think our I won't even just say offense. I think our puck movement in general in the offensive zone, whether that involves the defense or the offense as well, I think it was just so off. And we didn't really do anything to change it up. We didn't really do anything to adjust. And it's something as a team, we all sat in the party afterwards for like 20 minutes going like, we really wish we got this series back, because like we all noticed stuff we did wrong and we didn't really do anything to change it. And I think it's something we visited now, and like we know like we got to change it up if we're going to do this again. But there was nothing different. Like if you guys would adjust, if Dan had the puck, you would adjust to it. If Dub had the puck, you adjusted to it. If Nick had the puck, you adjusted to it. Them cycling it, you guys would stop the cycle. Shots from the point, you guys would stop the shots from the point. So there was really no other offensive opportunities coming, because your team is very defensively solid, especially with Thompson. That Thompson's going to stop any goal that should go in on a half decent goaltender. But like, because Thompson's better than a half decent goaltender, he was keeping a lot of those pucks out. So it's just the fact of adjusting and trying to change it up and catch some stuff off guard. I don't think our team did that. And of course, fighting from behind every game really takes its toll as well. So
yeah, and so like again, we'll touch on the We Give 60 crew, man. This is a team that nobody thought would be able to score. Nobody thought this team would be able to score and get goals and different things like that. But it's been a little bit of the opposite, that they're averaging almost 3 goals a game, which is, for the defense that they're playing, 43 against is more than enough. You're getting contributions everywhere. Hockeytown, who was questioned by most for me taking him where I took him at 17, he's a number 4 in the league in scoring. Yes, I get it. There's games in hand, but he's number 4 right now in scoring. Viper, who was my 5th round pick, has 27 goals in 27 games.
Viper doesn't get enough credit. Viper definitely doesn't get enough credit. You and I were talking about this in G chat before this. Yeah. He's definitely worth it. Like go ahead.
I mean, no, the days of this guy. I mean, let's talk about Viper, man. And not to mention and him and I had a conversation last season. And I told him, I said, listen, man, because he was done. He was like, man, this sucks. I know that I'm better than this. I know I can make an impact. I know I can contribute. It was right when he got traded for Jelly. And he was the extra, and he got traded for Jelly. And I said to him, I said, listen, man, I said, it's going to take getting in the right system with the right people, and you're going to get your chance. He was on DJ's Jagerbombs team. That was a fucking mess. Then he got traded to the Rejects team. That team was a fucking mess. So this mindset is Viper can't play. But I've played with Viper in other leagues. I knew that wasn't the case. The guy is a goal scorer. He can create space on his own, and he listens. He listens to what you're saying. So if you point something out to him, he's not going to be like, oh, no, he yelled at me. Why did he say that? No, he's going to take it, and he's going to go. He's a silent assassin, and he's got 27 goals in 27 games. He's on pace to score 40 goals. That's a guy who was drafted at pick 60, 59. I forgot where I took him.
I think he was
You
the
get-
same round as me, so yeah, somewhere around that.
You give me 40 goals out of a 59th overall pick, and
You're doing something wrong.
you tell me that's not a fucking win. The days of Amazing Viper being drafted in round 5 are over. I know that. He knows that.
Hopefully they're over, because
Listen.
I'll let you finish your point, then I want to like bring up something.
No, you're good, because I mean, Odd Guy sat in round 4 forever before people realized that he was fucking good. So you're right. You're right. That's a thing. But
it just takes scoring 2 game-winning goals in 2 different championships and being a high-tier defenseman to really get somebody to go, oh, hey, you're better than 4th round.
And I still got him at 20. I got him at 20. Like, guys, come on. I know his name's Odd Guy, and I know he's a goof, but he's fucking good. Like, you got to figure it out. He's in that tier. Like, you're talking Chelsea, and you're talking Drug, and you're talking Daly, and you're talking Odd Guy. Whether you want to admit it or not, you're talking Odd Guy. And it blows my mind every single time with it. Either way, Tom's doesn't get enough credit either. The guy leads the league in shutouts. I think he has 6. If I didn't suck so many dicks, he probably would have more. But that's on me. And I'll own that.
Well, I know he almost had 2. He almost had 2 against us single-handedly, and we just were able to put pucks in the net with the last minute of the game.
Yeah, and they were both my fault. Hey, listen, I destroyed myself in the write-up. And I don't know if you guys know Tom's. That's a big muscular ass man. I do not want to be on that motherfucker's bad side. Right? Like, not a chance. So shout out to Tom. Shout out to We Give 60. Love all my boys, man. We're looking to get after it tonight versus Raising Cane. But I want to talk about a team, Bailey, that you brought up, and that's Knights of the Frozen Throne. That was a team that stifled the fuck out of us. That was kind of like our coming to Jesus moment where we were like, okay, that team beat the piss out of us. Like, listen, we won a game that we had no business winning. Oh, look who
do you notice how he joins right on cue? On cue of talking about it.
This is first of all, you're a fucking mess, first and foremost. You're lucky that your kids are awesome because you're not as awesome. But here's the thing. We're talking about Knights of the Frozen Throne, and all of a sudden your happy ass pops onto my screen. Ryan, how you doing tonight, man?
Hey, man. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So I'm doing this from my iPad because I don't have my normal setup. So normally, like, I see my big fat face pop up on here, but that's not happening. So I'm doing good, man. Enjoying my ice cream sandwich. It's been a long day. A lot of stuff going on in 239 land. Man, I love all you sons of bitches. Even the ones I give the most crap to. I want you to know I just love you so much. I'll give you a big, giant fucking hug and a kiss and a fucking headbutt to the balls if I could. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, man, we're good. We're about to – hey, Bailey, you want to do me a favor? Shock's looking to get on, man. Can you invite Shock in here? Do you have Colin's info?
I don't know if I do. Shock, message me through the site with your G-Chat.
Yeah, and there you go.
Yeah.
We'll get Shock on here. So what we're talking about, Ability, I want to talk about your team because of the roller coaster that it's been. So let's I mean, you've made some trades and stuff in between, but let's talk. So you guys play us. And I was just telling Bailey, you guys humbled the shit out of us. We were kind of in a nice little cruise control. And literally the series versus you guys, we stole a game that we had no business stealing. But you guys looked unstoppable. Dolly and Drug are so aggressive. Cosmic Fade was showing me stuff two-way that I just am not accustomed to seeing from him. You know, that responsibility of playing in the middle. Jelly was phenomenal. Even Nick DeGreek was great in that series. And you guys drummed us. However, you got swept the very next 2 series after that. It was a head-scratcher for me trying to figure it out. You go out, you trade for Agent, you play Agent in the middle. It doesn't go good. You move Agent to the wing, you fucking sweep again. Give me kind of the mindset of like, what the hell's going on over there? You guys are like the team of like just Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, man. What's going on?
So we really like to mix things up, and people enjoy playing different positions on my team. I want to throw Drug at center and just let him go for it, but that's not going to happen. No, I mean, I don't know. It has been a little bit of a roller coaster, but I have to say that I honestly don't think that it's any detriment to my team or any of the players or the positions that they're playing. I think that sometimes this game just has a way of jumping up and biting you in the ass when you least expect it. It's consistent around the board, too. It does happen to everybody. That's why a lot of times I get emo when bad things happen to me, and a lot of my argument is null and void because it does happen to everybody. Sometimes it just takes a little longer to come full circle. I don't know. I really think that as as I put my team together and the way that these guys play together, I think we're one of the top teams in the league. We don't always play at that level, but I think that the more we're playing together, the better we're getting. And that is a testament to a lot of the teams in this league, because as this season's progressed, I mean, look at Chili Con Carnage. They turn it around full circle. I look at the board today, they're 9-0-1 their last 10. I mean, a lot of teams are doing this. So I don't know, man. I love my team. I love my players. I love the versatility and the skill set that a lot of them have. I couldn't be more happy, to be honest with you.
I love your segue. like you didn't even like I just know you're not looking at my Throwdown thread, but you bring up Chili Con Carnage, and that was on the docket, and that's what I want to go to next. So this is a team that, if you guys remember, when we all sat there and jerked off before the season on the pre-draft show or on the post-draft show, we said that Chili Con Carnage was going to be a top 3 team. I think we all agreed on that, or at least most of us agreed that they were going to be a top team. And it just did not start out good for those guys. But, I think what he's been doing, because he's been talking up, Zlo has moved out of net. Goaltending was an obvious issue for these guys early on. That was the big thing. No offense to Zlo, but, I mean, you can't have a 69 save percentage, 4 goals against. Like, that's just not going to get it done. And so what happens is Pogs is able to go out there and get himself Peaceful Bob and Slicky Slick, and decides that, hey, I'm going to run this sort of like, see who can do what. Now, Bob plays in, it looks like 1 game. Slicky's got 3. So right now it looks like he's riding Slicky as his hot hand. Floaty goes back to D. Zlo moves up to forward. Zlo's been killing it, man. He's averaging about 1.5 points per game since moving up to forward. 24 games, 35 points. So shout out to him, man. But I really, really like this team. Surprised me he's doing what he does best, and he's scoring goals, and that's what he's there for. They're not taking a ton of penalties, and Floaty is tearing up the score sheet as a defenseman, so you're getting offensive contributions as well. Brad has been a silent assassin. Pogs has his boys out here. I send it over to you there, Cortez. Like, is Chili Con Carnage the real deal, and what do you think has been the big turnaround for these guys? You're on mute. Oh, are you? Oh, he's dying. Well, okay. Well, while he's doing that,
you're good. I actually forgot I was on mute. I forgot I was on mute.
Oh, you forgot you were on mute. Okay, gotcha.
Thumbs up for thanking me. I just did on the wrong thing, and I really wanted to make sure I didn't click stop broadcast. Anyway, they are the real deal, absolutely. And I think what kind of turned it around is kind of he changed up his lineup a little bit, did a few trades, and they really started putting the puck in the net. And I think they're really carrying off of that momentum right now, and it's going to keep moving them forward. I mean, you look at this roster, and it's like the same exact roster, basically, not like lineup wise with people, but the exact same style as 7 Taves. It's that same mentality of like the people on it. I mean, you got Surprise Me and Pogs again. That's their forward lineup already from 7 Taves, where I forgot who their left winger was then. It wasn't Agent. Who was it last season?
It was Saney, easy real.
Well, so either way, though, you look at it, you got Pogs and Surprise Me. You got these 2 that are familiar with each other already from last season, finished in, I think, 2nd place or 1st place, whatever it was. Did okay in the playoffs until Agent decided to open up an Xbox message in the middle, or whatever it was during the middle of a game, or tried to pause it. I mean, their momentum's carrying, and I think him doing a few trades and him and Pogs really kind of changing up his team a little bit, but still sticking with his core of his team that he knows where he's going to really produce from. I think that's brought a lot of success to the team, and I think they're just now going to keep continuing to build on that momentum. I mean, they are, like you said, the number 1 offense in the team and the number 1 offense in the league right now, except for like drop past Murphy's when that stuff's updated. But either way, 89 goals in 24 games. That's more than the rest of us, except for the Murphys, apparently, with their stats updated. So they're lighting it up. They're just going to keep building. That's what it's going to be.
And let's welcome to the show none other than Colin Cameron, a.k.a. Shock. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Man, you've had kind of a crazy season. Like, it's been so crazy. Like, I remember 7 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, so whatever it was, you were on that hashtag Chem team, man, and you guys played us that first series, and you guys look dominant. Like, and then you kind of moved around, and now we're playing tonight. And I hear you're playing left D tonight, man.
I am.
I'm looking forward to that. But how you doing, man? What's the word over there?
I'm doing pretty good. Just getting used to the new team. We're getting our chemistry down. So,
well, hey, what do you think about Crazy Eddie Killer talking all that fucking dumb smack in the chat box earlier today?
It's Yeti.
I mean,
he's in a good mood. That's a good sign.
I guess that's the play, man. But I said this to my team: getting chirped by Crazy Yeti Killer is like getting chirped by your super hot girlfriend's retarded younger brother. It's like, listen, it's like you want to punch him in the face for being so fucking stupid, but she's so hot, you just deal with him and you laugh at him, right? So you're like, oh, it's just Yeti. So that's kind of where I'm at with the Crazy Yeti thing, man. So it's whatever.
I think he's just doing it because you're lined up with him. So
yeah. I mean, this is the same guy that came open forum guaranteeing a Rookie of the Year run in season 3 and was an absolute Casper the Friendly Ghost that season. So,
but what team was he on?
He was so bad, I don't even remember.
I think he was on that Jagerbombs team.
Oh, he was.
Was that season 4?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was season 4. I forget which one was his rookie year.
I think he was on that Jagerbombs team that rookie season.
And then,
that would have been the same rookie season as myself and Sea-Doo, I think.
So maybe it was the season before. Maybe it was 3 then. So that 2, maybe it was 2. I don't know. But I did a little research and I heard him saying that points don't matter. He's calling me a 5th forward. I guess I would say that too if a D-man was outscoring me in the regular season. But I mean, that's a thing. So whatever, man. Shout out to Crazy. I hope he figures it out, man. But I know he's been stranded.
From what I know, he's been playing forward. He hasn't been playing D.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But he's feeling good tonight, man. Here's the thing, I'm going to say it, man. Like, when you get drafted to an X-Daily team, you have to have thick skin because you know what comes with that. There's going to be some shit talking. There is going to be some dick-licking movement going on out of the mouth.
Speaking of your shit talking.
Oh, what?
I heard what you said about my internet. And you want to know the funny thing about the whole situation? It happened after I stopped streaming.
Listen, man. Listen, man, I'm going to tell you something. I told the odd guy to stop streaming because every time he streamed, our whole team had ridiculous pings and stuff. And when he doesn't stream, it's cool. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's NHL. I don't know if it's a Twitch thing. I don't know. But whatever reason, man, it's been a mess lately. I hope they figure it out. But it's a mess.
At one point I looked, I had 790 ping.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the period, I looked at 27 ping, but 79% packet loss. Yeah.
We can all agree that the internet plays a small toll in how the game plays, right?
Just
listen. When you get sniped 6 out of 6 times, though, that ain't the internet, man. That's not the internet. Hey, by the way,
Ability, I was gonna back you up, man. I was so gonna back you up, but he hit you with that, and I can't help.
Hey, listen. Can I tell you something? So here was what day was that series, Ryan? When you played Pale? What day was that?
I don't ever want to remember in my life.
I think we'll say it was a Thursday. Let's say it was a Thursday. So I come into admin chat on a Friday, and Pale's like, "Man, we got a big fucking problem." I'm like, "What? What could possibly happen? Murph's missing. This person's dead. What's happening, Pale?" He's like, "Dude, I can't put my stats in." I said, "Why can't you put your stats in, Pale?" He's like, "Well, we can't finish the game because Ryan literally had 0 saves and it's making us put at least 1. So the stats aren't right." So Pixel had to go in and write a completely special code to allow 0 saves to be a number. So Ryan, you created the pad stack and you created your own separate line of code. Let's give Ryan Randall a round of applause, everybody. Let's give him one here. Thank you very much.
You know what? I need a fucking beer.
Now, so that's been taken care of. Oh man, I love it because you're the champ, and that happened, and it's the whole thing. So,
but didn't you come back in the series after that and get 2 shutouts?
He did. So we call that redemption row. He was able to make the comeback. I love it. So I want to do something interesting. Not interesting, but we've been beating this to the ground, but there's a reason. So I'm looking at this 6, 7, 8 spot right now. So 6 is held by Chili Cone Carnage. They've got 29 points. To me, they're definitely a team that could be in the mix, the top 6. I hate to say it at this point. I feel comfortable with the top 6 teams where they are at the current moment, based on the factors of games played, who they have left on the schedule, different things like that. I don't see any of right now the 7, 8, 9 down teams making a push into the top 6. Now, people will argue, well, what about Imagination Land? What about Praetorian Guard? Those teams have more problems than people want to talk about. We're going to get to those problems right now. Let's start with Imagination Land. This team, coming off a series win, still can't seem to get on the same page. I have never seen a more passive-aggressive emo write-up than I saw from Josto, although I enjoyed the hell out of it, by the way. I thought it was the funniest fucking thing ever. There was definitely a little bit of turmoil going on within that team. You have Brick City, who's a very, very, very vocal, strong personality. You have Figo, who's also a very vocal, strong personality. You have Magilla, who's kind of a silent assassin. You have different pieces moving in. Mac North. I'm not necessarily sold on this team right now. We've got 4 series left. There's 12 games to be played. I'm going to send this around the horn. Ryan, these are your guys. Now, do you think after the sweep you laid down on them last night, which I don't even know if that series is updated or not yet. But
I think all the stats are in, but I don't know.
The only one while you're talking, I'm going to update the Drop Past Murphy's one, but is Imagination Land a team that you think, A, is going to make the playoffs, and B, if they do, could they be a team that upsets one of the top dogs in that first round?
Whew. So last night, I can tell you that in our series, Figo did not have an opportunity to play until Game 3. Now, a lot of mixed opinions on this one from players on my team and players on the other team, but I do feel with the experience I've had playing with the combination of Brick and Figo, that had Figo been able to play all 3 games, the chances are is that series is going to go a different direction. I don't know exactly to what extent. I don't know if we still pull off the sweep. I don't know if they take 2 games out of the 3. But it was definitely more competitive with him in the lineup. And, we came out in the third period and put up 3 goals. And before that third period ended, they had matched us with the 3 goals. Cosmic came through and sniped one with like 20 seconds left to clinch that victory for us. Or that game was headed to overtime too. Game 2, I believe, did go to overtime. Might have been game 1. One of those games went to overtime. But that team is very competitive. When you throw Figo in the mix, that team can compete with the best of them out there. And the one thing I know for sure is that if they make the playoffs, which I think they can do, Figo's probably going to do whatever it takes to play in those playoff games. So they could definitely pull off an upset in that first round. Mission 1 is to get to the playoffs, though. And I'm rooting for them because I think that they've got a pretty good team.
Question, is Figo okay, listen, I want to know. First of all, me and Brick had our issue. I'm a Brick City guy, man. I really am. I mean that. I love Notorious Figo. I think that guy is an absolute riot. I love him. He strikes me as a guy that would take a shift off work at the police department to make a 2-3-9 game. I saw him doing 115 down the interstate to make it for a 2-3-9 game. Listen, you can't write commitment without Notorious Figo. That guy is always, hey man, let's reschedule this. Let's get after this. Let's get after this.
I don't know if you know how to spell, but there's no F in commitment.
Listen, that's why I said Notorious Figo. There's no Notorious Figo in commitment either. But guess what? There is today when you're doing 150 because you say, fuck it. I'm a police officer. I don't give a shit. I'll throw the siren up on the goddamn thing. I don't care. And he makes it in time for the 2-3-9 game only to be Xbox banned or something happened and he couldn't connect. Like what are the odds? What are the odds? You risk life, you risk limb. I don't know if you have children. I don't know what you have, but you know that 2-3-9 is the focus and we love it. That is serious motherfucking business. And then you get home and it can't connect and you just want to kill people. I get it. I've been there. So shout out to Figo, man. Shout out to Imagination Land. I'm interested to see how that thing's going to play out. By the way, I'm hoping that all these stats are updated now. I just quick did it and published Drop Past Murphy's stats. There it is. The stats are updated, so you guys should be able to do that. That's real time. And guys, let's give ourselves a round of applause. We have every single game up to date for the first time all fucking season. You cucks. Every single one of you. Shock, I called you out earlier for your stat-taking ability. I don't know if you heard that bit. I still love you.
Why do you think I took a season off?
I still love you, but I had to get after it because it was a thing. So moving along, Praetorian Guard. Now, gosh, I'm gonna leave that alone. Not Praetorian Guard, but what I was gonna say. I've done enough damage. Here's the thing. I said, do you guys remember a couple of weeks ago? You may or may not remember. I said that, and I love Thams. Thams is a good buddy of mine, real life friend. Thams has never eclipsed 3 points per game since I've played with him. That number has fallen dramatically. He was at a 3-goal clip. Remember, we were talking about him and D-Mart and Brian, and he was in the mix. Tom was in that mix. The offense has fallen off a little bit. Both of them are averaging less than 2. Edge is even lower than that. I'm starting to get a little bit alarmed when I look at this because they've all played 27 games. Thams has 52 points and Edge is at 38. That's a really big drop off for me. Because that tells me that the offense is kind of running through Thams and Tom and just kind of not getting involved enough. And I think teams might be keying on that. Excuse me. Nexus has been a rock for the D, it looks like. He's got 6 games played. I know Tompkins is still hanging over there too. Tompkins might have a on-call week coming up too for Deej because I had Tompkins last year. So that might play a factor in this. DJ switched the gamer tag. It's no longer I soldier up. Maybe he's looking to improve on that 2.7 goals against and that 79 save percentage. And maybe, and just maybe, and I'm a DJ guy, but maybe this season and putting him in that elite category has maybe gotten him a little bit because the numbers are not what we're accustomed to seeing over the last 3 from I soldier up. So this team has got to figure it out, and they got to do it quickly because they're kind of up against it here. It's really, really tight here, and there's games in hand. Netflix and Chell is actually tied with them in points and has 3 games in hand. We're going to talk about Netflix and Chell in just a second, though. But Cortez, when you look at Praetorian Guard and you look at DJ's team, this was the team that everybody was high on to start the season. Where do you fall on these guys now, and do they still make the playoffs?
So what doesn't make sense to me is when I judged them at the beginning of the season, I thought they were going to be easily a top 3 team. Like I thought them and Swift Hubs had probably the most solid rosters. So we played them and we only allowed 2 goals in 3 games. And they were not the greatest goals either. And they had no offense. Every play they had, they kept going offsides. They had no idea what to do. Thams would either try to get too fancy with the puck. Edge would try to get too fancy with the puck. The only person that was consistent in the series was Tom. And it was this 2-way play with shutting down defensively, getting over the blue line, shooting the puck on net, getting some shots. And it's just, I don't know what's going on with the team, but if they really don't find a fix here soon, because I remember Thams had like 45 or something points about 3 or 4 series ago. And what'd you say he's at 52 now or 57?
Yeah, and in the last 6 games, he's got 7 points.
Yeah, so either way, you see that, and something's not working here. I mean, you shut down Thams. Apparently that whole lineup shut down, so if they don't figure it out, they're out.
There's a certain thing, like I said, we're coming into it. And remember, the stats are a little bit different this year because we are in a very defensive statistically. If you look at the history of 239 seasons, this is one of the more defensive seasons that we've had statistically as far as goals scored and goals against. It's just been a lot less scoring. You're not seeing that 12-2 game that I put in for the Murphys was the first one that I really saw like that in a long time. These scores are in that 5-1, 4-1, 3-2. Like everything's really close. So you're seeing that in the goal differential, with the way that the stats have laid out. I think that Tom was a benefactor of playing with a very high octane offense last year. You had Brick City on the back end throwing breakouts, the Cosmic, who's very dynamic, and Tom plays such a good 200-foot game. So those numbers offensively could have been a little bit inflated, and that's fine. I mean, he's still a great offensive contributor. He is still a top 5 guy, in my opinion, no doubt.
Oh, and he's still the number 1 center, in my opinion. Absolutely. Like, that guy wins draws like there's no tomorrow.
But I'm going to send it over to Ryan, man. Like, Tom is your guy. Like, you kind of discovered him and you know what he's capable of. You won a cup with this guy. Do you think that the Praetorian Guard with Tom and Thams and Edge, is this going to be enough for them to move into the playoffs and then again potentially upset one of the top 2 teams?
Shit, man. I don't even enjoy having to talk about this because we're gonna play them soon. But this is my take on it, all right? So if you look at the offense productivity that's coming from the defensive line on Praetorian Guard, it is virtually non-existent. And that's not to be mean at anybody. I just think that Tom, some of his best goals are deflections. That guy's one of the best deflectors of the puck that we have in the league, hands down. And I don't think that the defense is throwing up enough shots to maybe give him the opportunity to put up even more points. Tom himself is a great player. I watched Thamps when he played on your team daily, and he played really well. His passing game was strong, and he could finish on the right side. So I don't know, where this team's biggest fault lies. Maybe part of it too is that, like you said, the defense in the league it's stepped up a touch, and that's given some teams a big headache. So if you throw everything together here, I mean, they're not getting enough generated, and there's ways to do it, especially with the players they've got on this team. They just got to figure it out. Get a few more passes to the point, fire that puck on net, and watch what Tom can do when you do that. Just please don't do it against me. Thanks.
Well, Ryan, you bring up a really interesting dynamic that we haven't touched on. So let's take this opportunity. Let's talk about the top teams right now. Drop pass Murphys. Floaty is number one amongst all defensemen in points currently because of his ability to generate offense. We give 60. XDALY and Odd Guy, both top 10 in points amongst defensemen. Okay. Swift Pups, Rondon Vellante, top of the league and one of the top guys for defensemen for points. Knights of the Frozen Throne, Dalai Lama's currently number 2 in points. Listen, you're onto something. Okay. You can have a great forward line, but you need offensive contributions from the back end. The days of, hey, listen, man, you just sit here and poke and check and do the whole thing and we're good. Like, that's it. Those days are over. The way that these new games play, the way that 18 plays, and the way I anticipate 19 playing, the real NHL has changed. Defensemen are so much more dynamic and so much more involved in the plays. Look at Brent Burns. Look at Eric Carlson. Look at these guys who are considered elites, the Drew Dowdys. These guys are very, very involved in these offensive, and I think that Ryan is onto something here. I don't think it's a surprise that the teams who are currently tops in the league have defensemen who are very impactful on the offense. I think it's something that is very overlooked, and I catch a lot of slack for it. Crazy Yeti was chirping me earlier that I'm a 5th forward, but my team's in 2nd and your team's in 10th. So, I mean, really, when you look at it, I mean, maybe that's working. Maybe you guys should try that. I don't know. But I think it was a very interesting point, Ryan, because you need to have those contributions from the back end. It opens up the ice. If you have to use the D, you're sending the puck back, and you can't just collapse low on that cycle game. Now, all of a sudden, you got to come and play out. And then if you have some people who are skilled on the blue line, watch out because shit starts to get really real. And I bring up Floaty as well. Floaty's a guy I know can play forward, but he's killing it on the points for Chili Cone Carnage. That's good breakouts. That's being dynamic in the offensive zone. It's a big reason why their power play is one of the top in the league too.
Oh, so, quick shout out to Drug Monkey, a.k.a. Muffin Man, for all those sweet shots that you throw on net, buddy. Love you, bro.
Yeah, he's actually one of the best at doing that. Drug Monkey he never panics. Worst case scenario, man, he'll throw it on net. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So shout out to Drug Man. By the way, I'm going to give him the cheap plug because if you don't follow this guy on Twitter, I highly recommend you do because it's one of my favorite things to follow. He literally gets after people. It doesn't matter if you're Bill Belichick or fucking Joe Blow from down the street. Drug Monkey will chirp you on Twitter. It's a thing, and it's awesome. So follow Drug Monkey on Twitter. I highly recommend. Moving down the list here, that brings us to Raising Cane. Now, Raising Cane, the drop-off from – here's the thing. So the drop-off from 7-8-8 is 5 points to 9 or 10 is Raising Cane. You got Raising Cane at 22 points. King Rome made some trades. I like what he's done. I'm not necessarily happy that I have to play this team tonight. I'll be honest with you. I'm not necessarily happy I have to do this. But you have Marty McFly, who looks very uncomfortable on defense when we played them in our series. There was a lot of ice. There was a big gap. So I think moving back to forward is the right play here. He'll probably be on the right wing. Rome at center, even though he hates it. You know, it's a chess game. And, you know, Rome likes to have a couple beers when he plays 2-3-9 games, fam. He doesn't want to have to think. I get it, Rome. I get it, man. It's not timing anymore. It's thinking and switching, and it's a mess. So he'd rather not be, but he's doing what's best for the team, and he's going to play that great defensive game. Crazy Yeti, the milk carton man, he'll be on left wing. And then you look at the D, Shock, very dynamic defensively. Yambag, listen, Yambag doesn't get enough credit. If you can get past like the crazy, like he's going to go for his hits when he wants to go for his hits. Other than that, 95% of the time, this guy is solid as they come, man. He's very, very good against those forwards. And you got Kinky in net, who's been solid. I mean, she is literally sporting an 81 save percentage, and she has faced 462 shots. That's like 120 more than any other goaltender in this league. So it's insane. But I'm going to send this to you, Cortez. When you look at this roster, they're going to need some help. There's no doubt about it. At this point, they cannot do it on their own. But is this a team that is going to be able to make the push and potentially climb into one of those last two spots?
I mean, they've got the lineup for it. You got Rome, you got Shock, you got AC, you got Marty. Yam, like you said, Yam's not bad as long as, like, if he can get himself out of his own little style of game that he plays might be a little too much. Like, he's solid too. Kinky, it's not bad either. So it's the fact that they have a solid roster. They could easily keep right where they're at and try to sneak into that 8th spot or the 7th spot. And that's all depending on how Netflix and Chill does, Praetorian Guard, Imagination Land. So they could do it, but I think with the other talent of Netflix and Chill, the Diddling Danglers, #Chem, I feel those teams have a little bit better of a chance than Raising Cane does, personally.
Ryan, what do you think, man? I know you're a big Kinky guy. I know, with this team, though, is it too little too late, do you think, or what do you think?
I don't know, man. I read Rome's write-up, and he seems to think that this is a new team, a new day and age. There is a comeback in the works. So I don't know. I mean, I think this is one of the teams that I said it in another Throwdown. Like the captains have to bring everybody together. You got to find unique and creative ways to draw your players in, keep it interesting, and build the team chemistry. And sometimes it's tough love, and sometimes it's just sweet hugs and kisses. So I don't know what he's going to pull together here, but, Marty McFly is going to have to turn it on. I think Yambag probably dreads having to play you anymore daily. I mean, I got to come to that assumption after a couple seasons here where it seems like he's had no luck at all against your team. So I hope that Yam steps it up. I've got a lot of faith in this guy. I'm going to watch this series tonight, and I want to see what happens because I know Amazing Viper is gunning for points. Not even that it's intentional, but he just finds the puck and he buries it. This guy is unbelievable. Mad love to you, Viper. #traded for jelly. And, Kinky, man, she's faced a ton of shots, but she's holding it down back there. I think that, she's, man, I never would have guessed it, but she's one of the best goalies in the league this season. And she's stuck in a predicament here, but the team has been turning it around. So tonight's going to be one of those series where they're facing one of the top teams in the league and they've got something to prove. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I want to touch on this team, #Chem. This is a team that literally needs all the help in the world. When you looked at this roster, you didn't know what you're going to get. You knew you're going to get good D. Dominator Silva, man. Shout out to Dom. I mean, it's so weird. You didn't think it was going to happen. Like the team was set up to be great. They came out. It's not been the case. Look at the goaltending numbers, and ever since Shock's been gone, there's not a goalie with an over 73 save percentage. You got Chelsea on the back end. You got Kayla on the back end. For whatever reason, it's just not working. And offensively, they're not scoring. Are they in it still? Yeah, but I mean, any sort of hope of really controlling their own fate is out the window because they're at 20 points. They have 27 games, which is the same amount of games played as the 6, 7, and 8 seeds. Actually, Chile Con Carnage has 24 games, so they don't even have games in hand on them. They have to have lots of sweeps, and they need a lot of help. So they're in a really rough spot. I move past them, though, to these two teams. These two teams intrigue me, and these two teams play tonight, and that's Tomahawk, Thomas Billing. Sorry. That's how I say Tom's name. That's how we all say Tom's name. Thomas Billing and the Bullet Club taking on the rectum stuffing, diddling danglers. That's Desired Custom. So both of these teams have 19 points, but this is where the intriguing part comes in. The diddling danglers, the rectum stuffing danglers have 21 games played. So they control their fate. Now, they go out and get a sweep tonight. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I said if they get a sweep tonight, that's 6-point swing. That puts them at 25 with 24 games. That puts them 2 points out of a playoff spot and putting complete pressure on Praetorian Guard, Imagination Land, and Netflix and Chill, who recently just lost Hockey Kid due to bad grades and a dad busting out the motherfucking whooping stick. So that is a thing. Now, other way, Bullet Club has 24 games played. A sweep tonight would get them 6 points and get them to 27 points, tying them with the games of all the 7 and 8, 6, 7, 8 seeds. And all of a sudden, now they control their own fate again. But it all starts tonight. So my question isn't going to be, who do you think? I want to know the series tonight. When you break down these rosters, you got DC, Desired Custom, Dank Love, and those boys taking on Ozzy, Clancy, and the Bullet Club. Cortez, who do you like? Who's getting it done tonight?
I'm gonna go Diddling Danglers just for the reason I think their defense is gonna be the difference maker here. I think both teams have a good offense, and I just think defensively the Danglers have their team all set and they're ready to go. And like you said, they control their own fate. They're a few games behind. Bullet Club, man, I love Sober. I love Ozzy. I love Clancy. I love Thomas Billing himself. I just think the Danglers have an overall sound team, and I think they should take the series. Plus, I'm going to support my boy Dank. There you go.
But I forgot to mention just one small little thing.
Okay.
Stealth Luca D is taking over Cuba, and he is trying to find Nexus, a beautiful brown bride. So he is not going to be there tonight. So Diddling Danglers are without arguably their best defenseman. However, they have BC Renton. They have Cavalier Stu, who I'm assuming going to slide in. BTW, Desire Custom, Santeria up front. I love that forward lineup, but they are without their best defenseman tonight because he's taking over Cuba.
I still think their forward lineup eats up the defensive pairing of, I think it's who was it again? Shotgun and Beautiful Wiener. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you got Shotgun and the beautiful one, the beautiful cock on D with. Well, I don't know if Phoenix is playing. I really don't know the lineup for Tomahawk tonight. But yeah, I mean, you got either Beautiful Wiener, Phoenix Rising, or Master Shotgun will be playing defense on that. I think Clancy, Sober, and Ozzy set in stone. But what do you think, Ryan, man? Who do you got tonight? Who's going to make that last late run? Because here's the thing. You lose the series tonight, and it's looking super grim. This is a big series for both teams.
Well, I think that between these two teams, this is probably one of those series where you're looking at a split. I don't think either one of these teams is going to sweep this series. The matchup seems to be pretty good. I like, Ozzy and Clancy. Those guys, they've been playing together for a long time. They've got a lot of chemistry. DC picked up Santeria off my hands for the same reason, the chemistry. They played together before. BTW, he's one of those guys that is he playing tonight?
Yeah, he is, as far as I know.
All right, so I'm a little I know he's only got 9 games played or whatever, but BTW, last I checked, was sitting at 10 points and whatnot, and that's a little bit mind-boggling to me. Even for 9 games, I would have assumed he at least doubled that. But he had a great season playing with D-Mart, and I think that perhaps maybe the chemistry is not quite there with Santeria and DC. But I don't know, man. If I had to pick here, I actually think that. I gotta take Thomas Billings' team.
You're taking Tommy B, man. I guess I should probably, I always do that. I'm always like, oh, who do you like? Who do you like? Who do you like? And then I never actually say who I like. So people are always like, why don't you ever follow? I'm like, all right. So yeah, man, I just think Luka not being there is gonna be tough. I'm gonna take Thomas Billing as well. I like the chemistry with Ozzy and Clancy. Again, we're seem split on this. I know Cortez is on the Rectum Stuffers and his boy Dank. I have to make a correction as well. Dalai Lama actually leads all D-men in points with 34. Floaty has 32, but Floaty there's 3 games in hand there on Dolly. So Dolly pointed that out to me. Apparently he's watching the show from work. But yeah, I messed that up. So but yeah, that's all I got. The last thing on the docket, you guys are going to love this. It was, will Agent show up tonight? What was the answer to that question, guys? Wrong.
No.
Listen, man, I gotta pull Mr. Hollywood out of creative retirement because you know what, man? I'm all set with Mark Ferguson. Like I'm over it. Like you want to miss, I get it, but I mean, we're at 3 months with this guy. Like he just, waltzes in here with this Hawaiian shirt and shows up whenever the hell he wants. I mean, I'm all set with Marky F, man.
Quick question:
Yeah.
Where is Flanny? Because I'm not kidding. When the season started, I was like so ready for all those top fives and series of the weeks to be sent to me, and like hating my life that I have to get them all done. And I never had one sent to me. Haven't heard from them. Nothing. So,
well, there's a couple things. One thing I would like to point out: the Wendy's cup in your background, as well as the Whopper box.
Yes.
Shout out to you.
Yes.
And the 96 cases of water. That's how you know you're in college. So shout out to Cortez at school. Let me tell you a little something about Jim Flanagan, aka Mr. Hollywood. I've known Jimmy Flan for about a decade. He goes on hiatus. Sometimes he needs time off. We get it. It's a thing. I think season 6 was some time off for him. I actually haven't spoken to him. He's still very active on Twitter. He always shares and retweets everything 239. So he's still doing that. I'm sure, and I'm hoping that maybe when he's ready to make a return, he'll be ready to come back, and we're going to get after it. But, yeah, man, shout out to Flanny. Hope he's doing well. Sometimes you need a mental break, you just got to have a break. And maybe he just wanted to take a break this year. I don't know.
Can I point out how inactive Hansel's been with a lot of stuff since Jim Flanagan's taken a break?
That's a fair point as well. But wait, didn't we determine that Drift King was Hansel, or do we just do that to piss him off?
No, Drift King is definitely Hansel. He's one of the Hansels.
Is that like confirmed, or we just do that? Like, I'm so out of it. Like, do we just say that to piss him off, right? Like, because Drift freaks out.
No, I don't think so. Drift hit me up on G-Chat asking me some questions about some other stuff earlier in the week. And he asked me, he's like, do you really believe that I'm Hansel? And I was like, yeah, I do. So, no, I mean, it's legit. He's definitely one of the Hansels. Confirmed.
Is that – so there's multiple. Is that is that the play? How many?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm guessing at least 3 or 4.
I'm going to guess Daly's one of them, though. I'm going with that.
Listen.
Yeah, that's confirmed also.
Time out. We all know that Hansel is way, way too good with his grammar and spelling to be me.
Yeah, that's one of the Hansels.
The thing is that people get instantly annoyed at my write-ups. A, the GIF game, always on point, and you hate seeing it. And secondly, there's going to be a ton of grammatical errors. There's going to be a ton of errors. So there's no way I'm Hansel, guys. Sorry, I'm not doing it. I got enough going on. I'm not taking that heat. I think ability is Hansel. That's what I think. Not to bring that up. Yeah, not to bring that up again, but we'll start that rumor up again. So,
Jesus.
So there's one more topic, and then guys, we got serious tonight. I know I do. I know Cortez does. Cortez, I appreciate you hanging out, man. We always love having you on the show. You're such a trooper.
No problem, buddy. I'm glad to be.
He goes. I'm gonna stay till like 9:30. I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool, man. Just stay till 9:30, and then it's 9:45, and he's got a series in 15 minutes. But don't worry.
Practicing right now. Goalie doesn't take a lot to communicate.
Okay, cool. See, and that's the beauty of, man. It's the beauty of. So. Kinky PB, shout out to her. I put her on blast earlier for wanting kudos for doing stats, even though she's not a captain. So it was kind of at her, kind of at Rome, but kind of at LOL. Silver got his jab in. But here's the thing. So Kinky brought up a really good point. And, Kinky's been talking to me. I've been talking with her about captaining and things that go in. Ryan, you can attest to this. Cortez, you haven't had your run yet. Captaining is not an easy bit, man. It is more than what people understand. Not because it's hard to do stats and everything, but you have to remember you are balancing very strong personalities with very quiet personalities and very big egos with very small egos, and trying to find this balance. And then real life, you have your own schedule, but then you have to work around the schedule of 5 or 6 others. There's so many different variables that play in. The reason I'm bringing this up is every draft I go in, I am friends with 99.9% of 239 land. I love as ability says, I love each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you sexually. If that means anything for you, I love you guys sexually. But I can only take 6. Yeah, get them with it. I can only get 6 guys a season, guys and gals a season. And I always tell people, I'm like, don't get into bed with your friends, because you never know what's going to happen. Now, when you do and you say, hey, I'm going to take you or I'm going to get you here, like all it does, and then it doesn't happen. And so if I say, hey, Spud, I'm going to grab you in the 6th round, bud. Well, odd guy's there in round 2. That's my guy. Him and I play D together. Like, I can get him here. All of a sudden, Spud doesn't know where he's going now. He was all like, yeah, I'm going to Daly. Woo. So I'm a big, firm believer in not doing that. So Kinky brings up the question, how is it drafting, or what are the results of drafting your close friends? And she used a couple examples earlier. I think she did like Pogs and Surprise Me. That one's working out pretty good. Ability taking like Cosmic, obviously they're known. It's kind of like Clicky, and like in that sense. But there's a couple I want to talk about. I'm pulling it up right now because you brought up a couple really, really good ones. Here we go.
I got scored on.
Did you? I'm sorry. So Dicko and Swag. Okay. So to my point, when you tell your buddy you're going to take them, you always are fearful that they're not going to fall to you because people know you want them. Like, oh shit. Like Swag's like, oh, everybody knows I want Dicko. So he ends up taking Dicko in round 2 when realistically he could have taken Dicko in round 5. Then Dicko has a bailout, can't play anymore. Swag season over for many reasons, but that was one of the catalysts for that. Another one was Pogs and Surprise Me. That one's good. Let's look at Dom. Takes Kayla and Chelsea. Now, not that those players are bad by any means. I'm not saying that because they're not. They're all great players.
It's just not working out.
But it's not working. Look at who else? Hey, I'll get you on.
Perfect example is when Dank got drafted by a DJ last season. We had our buddy Wiz come play, and half the season he's like, "No, I'm out." Like internet issues, like I'm out. Like that's a perfect example as well. Like,
yep, and that's another thing. And Dicko was kind of fall in that same category. Esoteric, I'm sorry, my dude, because he's gonna get mad. But I took Eso last year. I reached out to Eso because I really wanted him on my team, and that original lineup didn't work. I did the draft the way I did it, and it did not work out. So sometimes that happens. Is you want to get your friends, but you can't. And so the biggest thing I've learned in like the better part of a decade of doing this, and this is what Kinky and I were talking about, is don't get into bed with your friends. Don't get into bed with your boyfriend either. Well, not like you can get into bed with him later, like after 239 and like do like, weird shit.
Your kinky stuff with them.
Yeah, you can do that. But like between 10 and 11:30, that's not always a thing. And boyfriends and friends and girlfriends and whatever, don't be emo if said other doesn't take you because, it might just not be the right fit. And that sucks to hear. But like, I don't know, like, could you imagine, like, I want Chelsea to captain really bad. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to take Dolly because Dolly's that first round guy, like, and that's where she's going to have to take him. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to take him. So it's a very, very interesting, tough dynamic. Don't get into bed with your lovers between the hours of 10 and 11:30 on game nights. Can I go with that? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in here. I gotta say that.
Please.
Okay, this is my take. You guys, say what you will. This is just my opinion. I think that the intermission in between last season and this season was too short. I think that if you really want the strongest, most competitive league heading into this next season, you got to at least give players about 7 to 10 days. And I don't think that's too long. I think that's just about enough time to allow for scouting. Like when I had all that time heading into season 5 captaincy to scout, I really got a good idea of the players that were performing well and who I wanted to pick up. And that paid off for me big. Picking up Tom in that season 5 ultimately was a key factor in my team playing as well as we did. He was a key player, and I was able to find that. I didn't have as much time. I had really no time to prep heading into this season, which limited. I mean, half the guys that are, that jumped into the league as rookies, I didn't get a chance to play with in scouting games, only a couple of them. So I think that, ultimately what you want to do heading in, especially your first time as captain, you want to bypass any of the friend bullshit altogether. You literally want to get as many scouting games in with all the new faces that pop into this league because there are undoubtedly diamonds in the rough. You got to find those diamonds. You got to place the pieces together. When you head into your draft, you want to draft the best players at that position that you feel is best at that position, but don't do something stupid. Don't sit here and say a 5th rounder is best at my 2nd pick because that's just not the case. There's a reason that players are touted to be better than other players, and it's not bullshit. It's just the way it is. Some players legitimately are. So just do the best you can, form your own put your own puzzle together. But it's not as difficult as it seems if you put in the time, you put in the work, and you use your brain.
I'm sitting here right now looking at the Throwdown thread, and because I was reading Kinky's topic and like the people in it, and all I see is a picture of Tow's Walker is staring into my fucking soul right now. Like this picture, he's like kind of like half cocked to the right. And he's just like staring into my soul. Like, I'm just like, what is happening? I had to scroll up on the page because I just had enough. But then I scroll up and it's Cortez. And it's half of my face and half of his fucking face. So, like, I can't do that. And then I scroll up and finally we get Daniel Bryan doing the no chant. So all is good in the world. But, guys, great show tonight. I had a great time. Cutting it 5 minutes short here. Yeah, for a 3-man panel, man, we hammered it out tonight. Obviously, we're going to have a serious talk in the Throwdown thread about agents.
Availability.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk to him, man. We might have to put it to a vote. I don't know what to do with this guy anymore, man. He's never showing up, and I'm over it, man. Maybe we'll have a league-wide vote.
Toss him overboard.
Yeah, man. Should agent be a staple on Throwdown? Not that he cares, but maybe we'll leave it up to the league vote. But with that said, let's send it out. Cortez, what do you got on the way out here tonight, man? You got a drop past Murphy series now. That's a big series, man.
Yeah, I'm ready for Cripps to take me as a serious goalie if possible. So hopefully I can back my words up here. So I'm kind of hoping for. But either way, it's going to be a good series. I'm looking forward to it. And I just got scored on. Bah!
Well, hey, man, here's the thing. Hopefully, at least if anything, he doesn't throw you under the bus after the series. But if they win, there's going to be a write-up, and you probably will. But I wish you the best of luck tonight, man. I know you got the skill set. I saw it. Hopefully EA is good to you tonight and just get after it. Ryan, what do you got tonight, man? Anything else?
Cripps who? No, I'm just kidding. Cripps, I was just kidding, bro. You're fantastic goalie. All right. No, man, I don't have a lot on the board. I think that we touched on some of the teams and what they need to do, and it's all about just building that chemistry. #Chem is a real thing, folks. Build it up, get your players together, get on the same page. And if you haven't already, man, just make the team work. Quick passes, shots from the point. Do it.
I don't, like I said, I've been pretty good about trying not to talk about my team so much just because it can get very stale, especially being like host of the show. But I want to give a shout out to all my We Give 60 guys, man. First of all, shout out to Pounders. Guy is the man. First of all, he's undefeated this season. When he plays, we win. So that's why he's like my secret weapon. He's my ace in the hole. I save him for when I need the big dubs. You can ask Daniel. You asked Daniel Martin about that season 4. Thank you very much. Sorry, Dan. I love you. But shout out to all my guys tonight, man. We're going to go out there. Raising Cane, big series. I'm looking forward to it, man, because I know if we lose tonight, Kinky PB is going to rip me in a fucking write-up after all the shit that I have spewed on this show tonight. So I am going to get on with my guys right now. Other than that, it's been another episode of the Throwdown on a Wednesday special edition. Until next week, guys and gals, we love you all. Peace out. Cortez, you can hit it now. You can hit the button.
Press the button. Okay. See you, everybody. Have a good one.
Have a good night, guys and gals.